I don't know. I think Johnny must have been rocking out doing push-ups to the music, because like that's just such an upbeat.
I got Morpheus in the way. You won't let me do push-ups. You guys had to go live. My alarm was going off. He's gonna do the basic walk by the camera. Hetty's in the office. We're taking we're taking AI courses. Yep. And this one course is like, I was just telling Cam, it's amazing what they charge for AI courses for the knowledge that we know. And this one in particular, guys, 5,000, 10,000, and 25,000. And Ken's like, well, that's the market that you're targeting. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that is. So I have this knowledge, and now I know what I'm worth.
Well, exactly, right? And the more knowledge you have on any subject, the more you're worth on that subject.
Right there. Come join us. So I was like, wow, that's expensive.
Yeah.
But it is actually targeted towards a higher group of people who do have money. Mm-hmm. And they're not on a pension.
Well, I'm on a pension. Tony's on a pension. You're on a pension. Yeah, it's tough to market people like us. That's one of the reasons we grow our own. Is it's better for us as a medicine, but it's a much more affordable proposition than going out and buying, being the consumer all the time.
It's gotten pretty good now. So now that the ability of me not being able to really grow what I used to be able to do and what's just going on in life because of that. I got in that accident. I was T-boned at 80K. I fell 20 feet of concrete, broke my neck in 4 places. Shit, I forgot. I was hit on by a dump truck in 91. I don't really talk about that one either, right? Forgot about that. No. A few other traumas I've been through, and the ability to now be able to access cannabis and the legal end, be able to do certain things. And I look, we can push through our pains. We push to ways to be able to do things. We get resourceful. We don't look for resources. We become resourceful and offer resources to other people to get back what we truly need. And with that, I had no resin the other day, and I got resourceful. And look at this.
Cool.
I mean, this is what resources come into play because of the people that we associate. So with all the people that you help, things come back. And when you're actually doing things and moving forward, and it's kind of nice because I went to a tether gathering. This is a legal event. It was a tether tasting. They're having one in Edmonton. They're doing one in Toronto. They're going to be doing these like bi-monthly. They're going to be doing another one in Vancouver, March 24th. I think this is a fantastic way. And as these events are popping up and getting more and more, I get to actually, my buddy's calling me right now. He doesn't know that I'm live right now. But as we talk about these events more and more, I can get back to you at 11 o'clock, brother, because I am live right now. And I'm probably going to another event till 1. So let me... hopefully it's not important. You want to be live with us for an hour? No, he hung up. He's like, I'm just going to leave that one alone. Yeah. So I love it. And I love it because these events bring people together. And they can be able to try different samples. Because I guys got to show you. See, I got this bag.
Nice.
Well, and it was $30 to get out of the business, right? So I had no problem. To me, it's a donation, and I got some great stuff. I got some bags of Rollies and Zippy Master and stuff like that. These are great people. And then with that, I was able to go around and get samples. Look at this. I got THC infused joints, and I got little gummies, and not 1, 2 cake caviar. Look at I haven't even been in here yet. Look at all this beautiful one. More and more and more and more gummies. So now I get to go to an event. It's adult. You got stickers. You got that. I got more from Glacier. We got training kits for bath bombs, and you got CBD pills. Come on, how great is this? I mean, are you kidding me? You know how much is in this bag?
Yeah.
Violet, all these. This is the vape pen. Come on. Like, look at
Now,
those.
these are regular events in Canada, you're saying? You
Yeah,
said
these
there's
are.
one in Edmonton?
They're going to be one coming up in Edmonton. Check out Tether Buds on Instagram. There's one in Edmonton coming up in, I think it's in April or May, March. Sorry. There's another one coming up in Toronto. So these are going to be happening. Here you guys go. Well, this is some other stuff coming soon. This is Kootenai's finest. It doesn't say exactly. There's rosebuds. It was a great event. I love this kind of stuff. And the people that get behind it and what they do, it's all this great little thing. Zippy Master Supply, of course, wellness center for all these all kinds of great things. And it's kind of like being able to give the education we truly need behind cannabis and be able to get that expressed to the people. So stuff like this, as this starts kind of more popping up, look for these events, guys. Because look at this. Like, come on. There you go.
I'll definitely have to go to the one in Edmonton.
So I just got, and this is, check this out. I got to show you this one because I think I opened this already. Push the two buttons.
And there's the tethersbuds.com, guys. Nice.
Right. So that came with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 joints.
Sweet.
Yeah, indica. Wow, I didn't even see that. There's it's from back 40. Like, look, awesome people there, guys. So all these people I talked to, they're actually going to be coming to the event on 4/19, the 420 live, the 420 countdown, the celebration that we talking about, and then where that's happening and stuff like that. So we talk with all the same people. We want to celebrate this craft cannabis, craft art, and the people in the industry, right? And BC Weed Co. Like I said, Rosebud. I love these guys, Shay and those guys from Rosebuds. They also do the Unicorn Cup. Like, you guys pay attention to all that. Kid Caviar. I mean, these people are just awesome. All organic fish farming, like, and even more. I just Rosebuds. Oh, I'm smoking Rosebuds. That's this right here. And that was also their sample right here. The BC Guava Gas. You get that from Rosebuds. So that's where this comes from right here. So I'm going to show them out. I showed up my friends. They're all awesome. For educational purposes, that's the passion to smoke that with you guys today. I got some candy in here, of course. We got a little, somehow this got thrown in there. This is pretty cool. Pink lemonade, live rosin gummies. They even put chocolate in here. That's zippy, guys. Look at that. They choose some, make it worthwhile. I'm just checking out the bag now, too. Here's some weed. Yeah, there's weed in here. Of course there is. So now I went to a tasting event. You got to be 19. You can be a bud tender. You can be a bud tender's guest. You can be in the store or a guest, or you can be in the industry. It's plus 19. You're going to fill it out on their event page. You're going to buy your ticket, $20 or $30, and you're going to go and have a great time for a couple hours. You're going to meet some amazing people. You're going to walk out with a bag of goodies and be able to test the industry. Or maybe it's because I knew everybody. No, they were giving away goodies to a lot of people there. That's the whole idea, being able to test the thing. We now have sampling being able to be delivered. So we can now have sampling events across Canada. This is going to be the new great thing, guys. Really looking forward to that happening. And then wherever you are in your country, you could be in the US. I don't know exactly what they have going on there, but these events are going to be a great way. Sampling seeds and sampling the bud behind the seeds. Seed sampling events. I know that's going to start happening. Wait for that. Why? Because I said it.
All right, well, maybe we should get on to topic, John. So,
sorry, what's the topic?
Don't worry, man. Let's talk pollen in males. That's today's topic.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. What's Tony doing? He's getting pollen ready to throw on some females.
Yeah, I've got pollen about to drop in my tent here in about probably 5 days. It's going to start releasing pollen. I just put some pictures up on my Instagram. If you want to check that, it has some pictures of that female I'm reversing right now.
Yeah, I actually saw that. That was one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up, Tony. Was I saw those pictures on your Instagram.
Yeah, here I can bring it up, no problem. Let me see, IG.
Yeah, because I know I did my 21-day trim, and I've got 2 males in the R&D grow, and doing the trim, I shook one, and it was just like you could see the pollen in a cloud coming off the plant.
Now, I can help you with that here. There's a lot of people have been asking me about storing pollen. So when you've got a male in the state that you have it on, instead of shaking it, what you can do is go in there with a vacuum that's got a correct setup of micron bags on it, and you can collect all the pollen off of that male inside of and basically a press bag. The bags we use for pressing for rosin. You need one that's a 10 micron, and you need one that's 100 micron. The 10 micron is the size that's going to keep trichomes from passing through it, and the 100 microns large enough to keep all of the green particles out of the pollen itself, so that nothing with moisture can go straight into it.
What type of vacuum are you talking, Tony? Because
well, here, let me show you the in the United States, the USDA has released a video. So this isn't a technique of my own. This is the USDA's recommended way of collecting pollen.
Okay.
One sec. But I've scaled it down for the home grower. Vacuum collection.
Now, John, I know you had your male. That's where our Medi Cushes come from. Did you collect a lot of pollen off that male?
Okay.
Yeah, I back in the days, I did. I collected the pollen. I used petri dishes. I just actually did that through a whole, I allowed it to go on its own type deal.
Yeah.
So that's when the initial one I get, and it was
this is from the USDA. Oh, I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to talk over you there. I'm sorry. So this is from Science and Health magazine. This is the USDA's. This is how they recommend. They're trying to sell the whole setup. Is what they're trying to do as a kit, and it's like $1,200 for the kit. But basically, what's on his back is a shop vacuum. It's just a vacuum mounted shop vacuum, so that you don't have to pull nothing around. And I believe this one is electric powered. That's why you see the yellow wire coming out down in the bottom left corner. But they do have battery powered vacuum setups that would work. Or you could use a small shop vac that's basically around $40. So like a 3-gallon shop vac you can pull around. What you really need is this hose. And the way they've got their set up, I'll show you here. You can't see it clearly here. All you see him is holding a metal rod, and it looks like he's brushing it against the male. So what they're doing is, I don't know if they have the picture here, or I have to show you the video real quick. Is this it right here? I don't want to click on. Yeah, it's this one right here. So
bring it up full size, full screen, Tony.
Just out of. I was just waiting.
Tony Baracco, and I'm a research technician with the USDA's Agricultural Research Service, and I currently work with the Hemp Collection in Geneva, New York. As a public service agency, our job is to characterize, preserve, and distribute diverse genetic resources to.
So they're really only going to tell you. They don't show you.
There's a new crop added to our seed bank in 2021.
So what's happening is that black handle that's connected to the silver handle is the
one objective we're exploring is the possibility of collection.
There's a 100 on the top of
distribution of pollen to stakeholders,
and then
like we
inside
seeds.
There's
this video will hopefully provide insight into our method of
they might even be using a 15 inside, but cannabis pollen's around 25 microns inside.
USDA
So as long as you go to 10 micron, you won't lose pollen.
Further
At least you won't
made
lose
by
any
hemp
viable
geneticist
pollen.
Tyler Gordon and
So
technician
that what's going to happen?
Maybe kill his audio, Tony.
This collection device is simply.
Sorry. So
you figure the 10 microns on the end and the.
Yeah, there we go. You see how he's collecting that right there?
Yeah.
So this, let me get it into the. There we go. Okay, so this Well, it won't pause when I need it to. I'm trying to pause it right where you can see.
See the contraption that he's holding.
Yeah, I don't know how far back I gotta go. That's the problem. With this goddamn contraption. Well, where is? How come it doesn't want to show me where he was collecting pollen again?
You just go back a little bit and let it play, Tony, and then it'll come up on the image. Yeah, because it's just a few seconds.
Yeah, I don't see it again.
Yeah, no, it's before that.
Oh, it's way back here. It's over here. So let me get that in frame now that he's getting close. Right there. Now, the silver part has 100 micron over it so that it can keep all the plant matter out. And that flies inside. It spins it so that the pollen falls. And there's up here on top, there's a 10 micron. You can kind of see it hanging out above his hand.
Yeah.
So what you can do is, instead of this whole contraption, a shop vac has this same end on it, but it tapers down.
Yeah.
So inside, all you do is sandwich a 10 right here where it connects. And on the other end, you put a 100 with a rubber band. And you can essentially do the same thing. And everything inside of here would be exactly what's happening in this jar.
Yeah.
And then you turn the vacuum off as you're pulling that away. That way it doesn't try to suck it up. You just want to pull away right when it's happening. Well,
yeah.
I'm here again. And you can collect as much pollen as you want. So it's not just flying everywhere. You just want to be slightly delicate as you're rubbing your hand up and down the plant.
Yeah. Interesting.
They sell that thing here for like $1,200, but you can basically make it for about $85 for everything.
That's pretty awesome. I love that.
It's gonna go off here. It should.
You guys, I have triple booked myself, which is awesome. Because now I have to do. I'm actually crewing Rise, the Summit Rise event right now. So this has to do with my Tony World, which is pretty awesome, which is roll call. So it's time to Rise Summit, which is today is a bonus day. And I kind of knew there was a bonus day and I wasn't really, thinking in my own brain. But this bonus day is starting for me in 12 minutes. So in 12 minutes, I'm going to be leaving you lovely people and moving over to another platform for this, what we just did. That you can get, it is free. It is on YouTube, just by the way. It'd be awesome. It's time to rise for your 2024 and set those goals about growing and how you're growing it, looking at who you are and how you're presenting yourself to the next level of what you can become, which is the best grower ever. And learning how males and females and breeding and understanding all these techniques is the sheer discipline of you showing up here right now and understanding this. And the guy to learn is from Tony, because he's done a lot more than me. I've done it a few times, but honestly, my expertise is here empowering you guys to say you can do anything you want to do. Tony's one of those guys that done it. This lady right here, Hetty, she does the same thing. She came over here. She's always working away in the background. She's mailing in your seeds and stuff like that. I shouldn't be saying that. She doesn't do anything. She's like, I'm out of here. Bye.
Bye, Eddie.
She's doing Rise the Summit to Rise too. So she's going in. What room are you in, Hetty? What room are you in?
No.
Well, the Time to Rise Summit that you just did. What room were you in?
We went to the room.
Oh, you're just on YouTube?
Yeah.
They did it total free.
Yeah.
And then they signed up. They're doing UPW in March.
Cool.
I'm super excited for them, right? It's really a transformational way of changing your life. And it was a good thing for me. And I just encourage anybody who wants to do anything, they need to plant a seed. They need to grow.
Yeah.
You got to plant your seed of growth, wherever that seed is, whatever seed you're growing. It could be yourself. It could be that strain that you want so badly. It could just be, it could be all with the biology, right, Ken?
That's right. So. If you don't have the biology, you have nothing. So it's got to be about biology.
You know what? That's the most important thing, because when you start really learning about the biology and what it takes and what we need in order to grow is we have to feed the food. See, this is what they're talking about. See, Ava, gotta celebrate. Now I get to walk over to this next button over here and join team. This is pretty awesome. We get to do this all together. So that was the last meeting I was in with Hetty, and I came over here because I went to till now.
Battery powered miniature shop bags.
You got miniature setbacks?
No, I was trying to find a picture of this. I'm sorry.
Miniature powered shop bags. John, I know that you've got to focus on that stuff, though. You may as well bounce now, brother, and get yourself all set up for that, because that's important for people.
Yeah, you know what? It's nice being able to get this all done.
Yeah.
And first, I have to do all the great things, which is rename myself, because my name is not John in here. My name is actually Crew. John, Team
Yes,
Tom.
yes.
And then I get to hang out with you guys. No one can hear me.
Okay.
Right? No one can hear me. They cannot talk. I'm just only present. So I just opened up my room. So I'll show you what I'm doing here, guys. I'm opening up the room. I got Tony. It's integration and it's 5 to thrive today. Really look at those 5 things that you thrive with and what you're trying to do and accomplish, right? So these are just great ways of setting up your 2024 and looking at the ways of what you're doing. This is all just great ways of what we do here. We empower you to grow your own. We empower you to plant your seed. We educate each other on how we're growing with pollen and what pollen does and how we're obtaining it. I used to keep in petri dishes. I used to put a grain of rice in there. I used to make sure it was wrapped in parchment and made sure it had everything with non-static. So I use horsehair brushes to gather my pollen. This is stuff that I learned. And I used to keep it in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
Right, as Ms. Toad nods his head, there you go. So I mean, and the way I gathered the pollen, and it was nice and yellow, and you know what? And I've had some of the OG Kush powder that we tried pollinating with some of the stuff with BC Bud Depot. So I mean, I've had all of these great things to be able to do in order to get to what I have now, which is a whole line of seeds. I have enough seeds to last me, and plenty. I don't need any more seeds. People who want, they send me seeds. I love you guys. I so do. Please, thank you very much. Appreciate you. I give away seeds. I don't need any seeds. I love you guys. Yeah, don't please keep them. Give them we all have seeds, and we have so much with abundance of seeds. Like, how are we going to be able to do that, and how those seeds going to come out and be able to bring that to the next level and get that going, right? So, see, now here I am. This is pretty awesome. It's integration. See,
I'm trying to find. I've got an article I wrote on that pollen collection for folks. I'm trying to find where it's at.
See, I didn't write articles. I think I did some videos back in the days. It's got to be my very beginning videos, or the low volume ones that probably got like a couple thousand. Those very beginning stages of talking about that was in 2000 and been a while now, hasn't it?
It's been a couple of days. Yeah. So I know I'm not going to be collecting any pollen off the males that I have in there because it's 2 different males, same strain. But I think when I do the next run, I'll only be putting 1 male in. And then
2 brothers come from the same family. They pollinate the same girl.
Mm-hmm.
Think you're going to get a difference?
Yeah. Every seed's going to be different.
So, like you said, you have 2.
I'm just saying I'm not going to collect it this round. I'll do when I have just the 1, then I'll collect from the 1, then I'll be able to know which is which instead of having both pollens mixed together, because then you don't know what you're tracking. Which makes sense in my brain anyway to do it that way. I'm looking forward to breaking them apart after and sending Haley some seed. Get her microgreens going, kicking off on all cylinders is what my hope is.
Which one are you doing?
Well, I've got the Medi 1, the Medi 2, and the Medi 3, the Joe Brandt, the Bubba, and the original Medi.
Okay, so those are all feminized already.
Yeah.
So, Miss Toad.
Yeah. What pollen do I have? Or what?
No, I got the feminized seeds that he's run, and now he's going to hit it with what pollen?
It's an FVOG Kush.
I've not heard that one.
Is it growing right now, or is it collected pollen?
They're all growing in the same room right now. They were the ones that I showed you on the show here a few weeks ago.
Right.
Around what day are your females?
Everybody just passed 21 days. I did my 21-day trim a day and a half ago.
Your male should have been a week ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's going to make quite a lot of seeds. That's fine. You'll do all right. That's why I like to collect, because you can pollinate on one day with a specific amount of pollen, and it won't alter how long
he's just going to
go to finish. If you've got it in there live with females, you're going to have seeds everywhere.
Well, yeah, and that's the idea. That's I'm just going to open pollinate
everywhere. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
you'll be amazed at how much seeds you can get off of a large plant.
You'll get a ton. That's why I was saying I know what I get from. I've done the open pollination, and I got.
So now the week ahead, John, you and you and Tony have both said this. Doesn't happen in nature. Why would I want to start the male 7 days ahead when I'm slowly slipping my girls into flower, dropping that hour off? I'm going to have to keep him separate in a separate room and do the same thing to have him a week ahead. But what's the general consensus of doing it that way?
You'll have way too many seeds.
Because your males open at all the time for when the pistil hairs open up in week 3. So you're actually hitting those hairs in the beginning stages and not in week 4 in the outdoor pollen. And we're going outdoors, you're getting a different kind of growth pattern where indoor growing is more forced. So my hallucination, what I've done in the past, is that it's smelling that male, and when it comes into play and where it's pollinating is that week 3 when we first get those pistil hairs opening up, so you can actually pollinate at that time. Males don't start producing pollen normally until week 4, so they don't produce in week 3, so you're going to get that basic onset of more developed seeds earlier than what you would, and depending on what you're doing outdoors. So that's my hallucination, what I've seen, what I've experienced with. I'm not saying it's an expert or anything, but it's just what I know of.
Okay, Tony, would you concur with that's the main reason? Because I know, like, I did the 21-day trim, and as I said, I shook the thing, and it was just a cloud of pollen. Yeah. So is it just not a viable pollen yet?
No, it's fine. I pollinate between day 21 and 27, depending on the varietal. If it's my haze, I wait even longer, unless I'm doing multiple pollinations on that female. It's like with a haze, I can do almost 3 pollinations, depending on when I set the first pollen on her and how many seeds I want to get from that plant. So if I only want a few seeds, I can hit her extremely early. It takes 5 weeks for those seeds to finish. That plant's going to go like 16 weeks if I let her. So I can do 3 pollinations with 5-week windows of pollination. And I can even do them a month apart because of being able to strip part of the plant down and know where I've pollinated. If I do hand selection pollination without wind, I can pretty much dictate wherever the pollen wants to go. I've done 2 pollinations on the haze at one time. Not at one time, but in one season outdoors. There's plenty of ways that you can go about collecting some pollen.
So should I just leave these males just run the entire cycle, or should I cut them down earlier than I would cut down?
If there's females in there and you shook it, you've got more than enough pollen on them plants to make seeds.
Oh, the pistils are already turning brown. They have been.
You could kill them if you wanted to. You can now, like I said, with a vacuum over the next few days, as long as there's no wind on them, the pollen's not going to fall. It's going to sit there until something disturbs it. And that's where a vacuum comes in, where you could vacuum up some and save it so you don't have to ever have those again. And now you can do pollen off of each male separate and have it stored in a jar and put it in your refrigerator. Just don't open it. You can even freeze it. I've frozen it and had it last for 6 years. No problem.
What would you say is actually better? Like, because I'm just going for bulk seed for Haley. Just to have like a male in the cycle every time with the ladies and just let it open.
No, if you're doing that, I would collect pollen as much as I can and use that to pollinate on one day, because a male's going to drop pollen for like 10 to 14 days. And the problem with that is it slows down how long it takes those plants to finish that you're pollinating. Because the first day you pollinated, those seeds are going to finish 14 days ahead of the last ones that get put on there. So the plant's putting out new calyxes, and those are getting pollinated every day and every day and every day. So now you're going to have to wait till that last day of pollination to begin your 5-week pollination. So now you're in there for 7 weeks to pollinate, to collect seeds, when you could have hit them all on day 24, say, all of them with an amount of pollen with a fan, and you're good to go. Like what you can do is rig up those little battery powered pumps to pump up like camping gear for like or a rubber boat. You can use those to blow pollen across the room, so you can pollinate the whole room.
I've actually got a little puffer thing that you put
that works great too. Yeah. And you can pollinate the whole room and still save your pollen, because it does not take a lot of pollen to pollinate a room at all. No, outdoors I let it do naturally. I'll let it go the whole period because I have the whole season for my seeds to finish. But indoors, I like to pollinate on one day, usually, unless I'm going to collect the pollen. So, like, I've got the female in here that's reversing. She's going to pollinate for probably 2 days, and that's it. And then the rest of it's me trying to collect the pollen from her.
Yeah,
because pollen is worth it's way more than seeds. It's so hard to get your hands on good pollen that's got proof in breeding.
That's the best thing right there. Is good pollen that's got proof of breeding, and really that comes down to the next step is having that male producing pollen. For I kept the male under low light for like 4 or 5 months. Kept producing pollen, and I kept keeping it, and I kept storing it, and I had it months, and I started dating it. And I started seeing that pollen a year or two later wasn't being able to give me what I was, only it was partly, so it was that previous pollen. I was storing it that way. What's your thoughts on being able to store pollen?
Oh, I've wrote a whole article on how to store pollen.
There you go.
I use desiccant. Like here, I was just gonna watch. I'll show you a video here real quick.
Yeah, you show the video.
Yeah, please. That's the one thing about working with you guys and all the knowledge that you guys have. I so much appreciate you guys sharing this, and Tony writing articles, etc. You've been going right along with this, brother. It's fantastic. But like I've got a clone of each of the males, so I'll be able, if I want to just keep running one male in a room, on every cycle. But you're telling me it's going to take that much longer for the girls to finish? Let me bring you up, Big Tony.
Comes with 150 micron screen. And on the inside, with a piece of parchment. These parchments are made for wrapping up potatoes and shit. They come pre-cut. You can buy them like this already. They're from Reynolds Wrap. On the inside of this, so I don't have to scrape up my pollen when I'm done doing this. It's going to keep me from damaging any pollen. What we want to do is put this on a sturdy table, something that's not going to flip around, not going to fall. What we're going to do is we're going to take our hand as gently as possible and hold it over the top of this as close as we can get it. And stick it right above it. You'll see, I don't know if you guys can see the cloud that's coming out here. I'm going to take some of the extra since I have pollen in the room. I'll have to put a closer figure on to show you what's going on. what we have here is all of the male flowers. They're filled with pollen. We'll take this through. And what you'll see is the bottom now is covered with pollen. It's hard to see it in this light. Collected, stored, freezer. Keep it in a freezer. It can last. I've used it up to 7 years. Do not pull it out and refreeze it. If you want to continue to use it, put it in the refrigerator and you can pull it out as many times as you like. As long as you keep it from getting wet. Moisture will kill flowers. So do whatever you can to keep it dry. Some people will have flowers cutter to make it spread. I do not like using any of that shit. That shit can be mold on your plants. When you try to pollinate, this can be a reason why your plants may not take the pollen. So this is a quick lesson on how to collect pollen on a male that is ready. Go ahead and use your tray. This will save a lot of time, and it will keep all of the green vegetative matter that has moisture in it out of your pollen. It will kill the pollen if it gets in there. So make sure that's pollen seeds. And then I'm trying to find my article, but what I do is you'll see this is the picture of it where it collects in the center of that's all that same pollen collected in the center.
Yeah.
Right. There's only a couple pieces of stuff in there that happen to be on the bottom of the tray from static. So I had to pull that out with tweezers. Usually you don't have to do that. You can also use bubble bags. They work just fine. And then what I do is I use desiccant, flower desiccant. This is just a picture. I use the large bead desiccant. I'm going to see if I can't find the pictures of that right here.
And that's just to make sure that no moisture gets in there, because that's
because what will happen is if moisture does get in there, this is what happens. One of these is good and one of them is bad. The good one's light and fluffy and yellow, and the other one's starting to turn brown and it's a clump. And that's because some of the green material was left in there. I did that on purpose to show people what will happen, because people will store it and wait and then pull this out and waste the whole grow cycle trying to pollinate with this stuff. And it's never going to work. So that's why I use jars with coffee filters on them glued to the lid, so that you can collect staminate flowers inside of jars and keep them. That's the bottom of one of the jars.
Okay.
So those are male flowers I collect to show people the size of them before they're opening. Like that one right there is almost too far because it's about to open. If it does, it'll start dropping pollen. But in this state, when they're swolled up, they won't drop pollen. So you can put them in a jar, stick which the purple thing is a Keurig refillable coffee filter. I have that in there with desiccant so that it doesn't touch the pollen. And what happens is that in 24 to 48 hours, I wait 48. You pull the lid off, pull out the desiccant pack, put the lid back on, and shake the shit out of the jar, and it'll fill up with pollen because now everything in the jar is bone dry.
Okay.
And then after that, you just put the desiccant pack back in, and you're good to go. You can store that forever.
Right on.
I've
So
seen
you don't have to store it in the freezer. You can store it like on the shelf.
No, you want to stick it in the fridge or freezer. You do not want to keep pollen at room temperature. You'd like to keep it as cold as possible.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, because like you were shaking, when in your video you were shaking this plant that's like a foot and a half tall. The two I got in there, they're like 5.5 feet tall, like they're huge.
Yeah, but that's why I said you just got to shake the top of it once and collect all the pollen off of that. You do that every 2 days, and it'll drop new pollen almost the same amount for about 2 weeks, and then it's going to taper off. It'll still make pollen, but the amount of it gets so low that it's not worth collecting now. But it's still worth putting somewhere with like another female, even in veg that's showing pre-flowers, because those will make seeds that you can collect that are viable. So even in a veg cycle, you could make seeds if you have plants. and you put them at 16 hours and they start to show pre-flowers everywhere, let them do that, pollinate them, turn the lights back up to 18 hours and walk away. And now you'll be able to collect 10 or 12 seeds off of every plant in your mother room without ever having to pollinate your flower room.
Yeah, that's a gold bar if I ever heard one. Now, John, I don't know if you can focus on us for a second, but Pembina River did have a question that she would like to send out to you. Did Johnny say letting the females sit in the dark for 3 days before flip to flower to induce flowering quicker?
Did Johnny say letting females fit in the dark for 3 days before flowering induce flowering quicker? I've done 24 hours. I've done 3 days, and I do at the end. I do like a couple weeks of total darkness with fully controlled rooms at the end.
But that's at the end, not at the beginning, right?
Beginning. I haven't done like 3 days before. I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I will. I don't know.
Okay.
You have to do it a few times. It's going to take a couple of years in order to control that, just to see what you're truly getting from it at the same time, right? So it's just like not a one-time option. This is like years of work. So I'm just kind of playing with some other things right now. I'm looking at just changing out light recipes and inducing some things during flower, which created something pretty amazing. So yeah, I haven't tried that in the beginning. I have done it with clones quite a bit. You leave clones in total darkness for a couple days, when you're getting those ready to go into flower or whatever. We flip them over and we put them in, and then we plant them, turn the rooms off, 24 hours of darkness to reset. Mm-hmm. So we've done that quite a bit in the past.
Okay. Pembina, I hope that answers your question on that.
Did I actually help? Since that was my hallucinations, what I've done in the past, I haven't done anything into the 3-day mark, and I have done it for like a day and a half, 2 days because of laziness. So it just never got there, right? So it went on for 2 days. And that's the way things have happened. And I haven't seen any real difference, but it does induce flowering. I always found it didn't stretch as much. So I always found that full, just going from 12 to 18, give me more stretching, and that first initial stunted them more. But that's just, once again, another hallucination. Good morning from Lakewood, Colorado.
Okay, thanks, John, for answering the question, brother. So Tony, we'll put John back on mute here so he can focus on Tony's world. What do you have to add to the conversation, Tony? I'm sure that you've got. Okay, let me bring you back up big again here. It looks like
large bead food grade desiccant is always, it's orange or green. Don't get the blue shit. The blue shit's got cobalt on it, and cobalt is one of the things that can help revert a plant. So what I've done is it's a Keurig coffee container that's hot glued to the lid of a wide mouth pint jar.
Okay.
This suspends it from the bottom of the jar. That way, when you do collect your pollen, it keeps it suspended above it. You can slightly see that in that jar.
Yeah.
And it takes 4 to 8 hours, and you end up with viable dry pollen. And now you can store that in your freezer. What I do is collect it and put it in little seed containers like this here, because you only need about this much when you're doing a little select pollination. That'll make 1,000 seeds easy. You fill one of these up, and you fill up as many as you can, put them in a jar, stick them in your freezer. Whenever you want to breed, you take one of them out, close it back up, put it in the freezer. All right? Mm-hmm. And that way you have pollen in there with a desiccant pack. So if any moisture gets in, it tries to get into the desiccant pack and not your pollen, and you're good to go. And you can always have viable pollen with just one breeding project or one flowering of males like you're doing right now. Yeah. You don't have to flower males forever. You saw how much pollen was there. If you left that plant in the dark for 3 days, it will give you that much pollen once again. And if you collected all that, you could probably fill up about 5 of these vials per plant. So if you had 10 of these vials, that's enough breeding for a long, long time with those plants.
Yeah.
Long time. But with a vacuum, you'd get probably 50% to 75% of that pollen. So like you can buy a battery powered vacuum that's a 3-gallon at most like Home Depots or home like fix it places. If I don't know what you guys got up in Canada, but you can just use one of those and do the same setup I was telling you guys about. Put 100 on one end. So like this is the end of your vacuum right here where the air's going in. You put your 100 micron over it with a rubber band, right? Taut over the end. So now this end sucks air in. You can remove whatever's there with your hand, any green particles that get stuck to it, but it's going to keep them from going inside the pollen. And then this piece will slide over your tube, right? The tube goes over to hold that in there. And where that happens, you put a 10 micron and then slide it on. Now, everything inside the tube is going to be viable pollen that you suck up off your plant. You do that and you'll collect. Don't shake it. Collect as much as you can. And again, fill up tubes. And with those tubes in a jar with one of those desiccant packs. Even if you go down to the grocery store, they sell them where you can buy viable desiccant packs and put them in the jar. I would just microwave them before I put them in because you don't know how long they've been there. They could, unless they're vacuum sealed. If they're vacuum sealed, you should be fine. Just go ahead, throw like 3 of them in the jar, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Like I've stored it for 7 years. I've seen Sam the Skunk Man say he's got pollen that's like 25 years old. So you can store pollen for a long, long time.
Yeah. And like Pemba River says, males make a mess for sure. I know, like I've got those pollen sacks all over my flower room everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got 2 males over here that I keep that are one of them's 3 years old now. The longest I've had a male was 17 years or 15. I'm sorry, 15.
Okay.
You can keep a male for a long time. Just keep them, clone them, and just keep reusing the clone after a while. Once the male starts to get old and overgrows its pot, take a clone that's extremely healthy, put it in a new pot, and replace it.
Yeah.
And anytime you want to breed, take a clone off it, breed with the clone.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I had taken clones off of everything because I wasn't sure what those 2 seeds were going to be. So it was like I was hoping for 1 male and I got 2. It's like, oh, okie dokie.
Are they from the same seeds?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think they came from Cali Connect. That I'd actually have to take a look at the packaging. I think I got 8 or 10 more in the package, but it's from one store-bought seeds that I had purchased. So
if it's Cali Connect, that comes from a breeder named Swerve.
Yeah, I'm not sure. As I said, I'd have to check. I know I've got some Cali Connect and a couple of other groups that had been putting out seeds. Like these are old or older seeds. Like I'm not sure when the FFVOG Kush came out, but I think it was quite a while ago.
I would say before 2005.
Yeah, I've got a Granddaddy Purple. I've got a whole bunch, but everybody, when I put it out to the R&D, which ones I should pop other than John's, this was the one that the people wanted to see. So.
Yeah, and I believe if it's the SFVOG Kush, it's the SFVOG clone crossed to the, I believe it was Rascal's Afghani male that he used in that. And that's what makes it the Kush on it. It shortened them down and made them a little squatter and wider. I believe that's what was on there. I'd have to go back. It's on his old forums. If that's who it's from, Swerve's old forums are up on this Cali Connect site, and you should be able to see on there. So if it's a regular, it'll be sometimes it uses a different plant than if it's a regular, and he shows that and labels that on there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'll have to grab the package, maybe for the next show or something like that to show you guys the actual where it came from. But yeah, I got a whole bunch from a guy down in Ontario back in 2015 or something like that. And it was all stuff he'd had from years before that he'd bought, and I just bought them from him.
Probably in an old matchbook, black matchbook, maybe.
Yeah, I got some black matchbook. Yeah,
Maybe
give me a
ones
second.
too.
I'll just go grab them. They're only like 20 feet away. Hold on.
I just picked up about 2 million seeds, and Ken won't go get a pack of 10. Come on, Ken. What you gonna do? I can reach over to the side and grab a pack of seeds, dude. Just finishing filling orders, my friend. One hitter quitter, vintage cheddar. What else do you need? Some of the personal breeding projects I just finished up here. These are my small batch stuff. Super small batch. Just started pulling stuff out of my Totally Haze Ghost of Boneyard, which is original Haze F3, Redwood Kush F3, and Ghost OG Back Cross, a number 1. We got the Blazing Haze, we got the Totally Haze, we got the automatics.
Yeah.
Straight Ghosted.
So it is Cali Connect.
Black old school Cali Connect SFVOG Kush. Is there a male or female symbol on there anywhere?
Just as regular seeds. And,
okay, that's all.
Sativa indica flower 60 to 68 days.
It's the SFVOG clone crossed to I'm pretty sure this is correct, but I could be wrong. To Rascal OG's Afghani Kush line.
Yeah, I've got Granddaddy Purple. That's from Canuck Seeds. And then let's see what else I got here. Critical Mass from, I'm not sure who these ones are from.
Critical Mass. I don't know the packaging.
Yeah, then I got Death Head OG and Jedi Kush.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what I got another package here.
But a lot of people like that Deadhead.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see. I'll have to I don't want to.
If you like Kushes, all 3 of those, the SFV, the Deadhead, and the third one you said, those will all represent for Kushes.
Yeah. How about that Granddaddy Purple? I've heard good things and bad things, and she's really hard to grow. And
she's got a dramatic history, so it's hard to say. She's going to be extremely slow in veg.
Okay.
And she may or may not turn purple, depending on literally where the original plants that they used to breed with came from. There's been so many plants passed off as Granddaddy Purple, so many different seed lines created that were said to be the same. So it's just hard to say what it's going to be.
Yeah. And then, of course, I've got a whole bunch of the DDA, some crazy guy called Mr. Toad.
That's right. Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
You got some space cheese crosses there, I believe. And
yeah,
what
let's
else?
see here.
I don't remember everything I sent you, Ken.
Bubba Kush.
Back cross
with
that someone's finishing that right now. That's just Kush, dude. Straight up. It's Bubba, Angels, Romulan, and LA Confidential. Or Cataract Kush.
Okay.
It's LA Confidential and OG 18.
Cool. I got Bob's Cheddar, NorCal Space Crew.
Shadow Max growing that right there. He's over in the comments.
Space Fondue.
Fire OG Space Cheese.
No, Space Fondue. Or yeah, that's the Space Fondue.
Yeah, it's
Fire OG Space Cheese. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Then the Guru Blaster.
Guerrero Blaster, that's named after Chris. And Cheddar Bob.
Yeah, and we got Backpack.
That's named after my brother. That's the Black Wop fruit.
Yeah, I remember the story about your brother and the backpack.
Yes, sir.
Black Wop fruit.
Black Wop fruit with space cheese.
Okay.
It's Testarossa. It's from Dutch Blooms. It's a selection Dutch Blooms made of Testarossa and Skittles, I want to say.
Okay. And then cherry pie and space cheese cross the
Ganjoji. It's named after they took some seeds to space, and they circled the International Space Station, and then they brought the seeds back to Earth. And when they got them back to Earth, they sent the seeds back to where they were collected from and planted them. And
cool.
That's the name of the trees that are planted at the Ganjoji Temple. And they began to flower like in 4 years. They started to flower way faster than an average cherry tree. And almost all of the other plants are the same way. They took plants back to multiple different locations on Earth so that people can go back and check them out. They're called the space trees.
Right on. And then the last one is the RCCSC.
Roberts Creek Congo space cheese. That Roberts Creek Congo is some crazy ass weed, dude. That shit'll fucking get you high. Ask Rory. I gave Rory the clone. Rory's. I'm not sure if he grew that one or the Mudbone one, but he's messed with my my stuff. They're fire.
Cool.
There's a few people here that have grown some of the stuff you just listed.
Yeah, these are all feminized. Is that right, or are these regulars?
No, those are all regulars.
Okay.
I am working on some films right now. They're in the tent. They're the plant should be dropping pollen any day now. It started to do it yesterday, very lightly, but in about 5 days, it's going to bust where it's going to want to pollen everything.
Yeah.
So
now back to a question I did have earlier on: am I going to need to run instead of running 8 weeks? Am I going to need to run 9? That I'm because I'm putting the pollen on. You're saying it's going to take longer. Just to finish the seeds?
To finish the seeds, it will. You're going to have to go longer because unless you stop pollinating today, then it's going to be all right. But if you pollinate for the 2 weeks, you have to wait to that last day you put pollen on it for all the seeds to be viable. Otherwise, you'd cut it down early and you're going to have a bunch of seeds that aren't completely finished. That's why pollinating at one time is a better option when you're indoors. Outdoor, you have such a long period to flower, they're going to finish. But indoor, you're looking at this real tight window because you're controlling it. So if all your plants want to finish in 8 weeks and you haven't pollinated by day 21, you're going to end up with having plants that don't have very good flowers on them. So if you wanted to make hash with them, they're going to be very light in terpene profile. There's going to be more CBN on it than the other cannabinoids because they're starting to get older. And that's all because you want the seeds to finish if you're breeding for seeds.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm breeding for the seeds for Haley. So they have to be viable for the microgreens.
It takes around 5 weeks for that to happen from the day of pollination. So if you, like I said, if you pollinated yesterday, hypothetically, and you stop today and you think you have enough, then you'll count that yesterday is the first day of your seed production. So tonight would be day 1. Tomorrow's day 2 and so forth until you get to around 5 weeks. And then you'd really want to pop a seed or 2 out and see the color of them. Right? Okay. Some plants, if they're a very loose flower, the seeds will show up just by falling out because you touched the plant. If it's a real dense flower, you may not even notice that the seeds are there. You might have to pull a whole flower off and break it apart to see what the seeds look like. And that's where, like, if it's a really tight flowered plant, you're going to want to pollinate for a longer period, I would believe. So you can make sure you get as many seeds off that as possible.
Yeah. So John did an experiment he didn't mean to do. He left the light on 24 hours a day for 3 days at the end of flower, and his buds just popped wide open.
They try to re-veg. It's a change in hormone shift.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was a question here. So they want you to drop your Discord link, Tony, if you could.
Oh, I mean, I don't even use that thing. I'm in a few different Discords, but I don't really use mine. So, but I'll put it in here. It's a way for people to get a hold of me without using Facebook or
Instagram.
Let's see.
John's just bouncing away in front of the screen there, having a good old time.
Let's see if it'll let me do it on YouTube.
Well, I'll give the shout out to the web and Instagram for all of us here.
Time to rise.
I'll get.
I'm not sure if it's going to pop up on there or not.
Not seeing anything yet.
It's because I'm not a moderator, probably. I'll email myself the link.
Or just can you throw it in the private chat, Tony, and then I can bring it up? And you should.
Well, I'd have to log in on StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
I'm on my computer right now. I'm trying to do it from my phone on YouTube. And because I'm not a moderator on YouTube, it doesn't want to let me do it. Nada.
Oh, okay. You're not a moderator for It's All About the Biology channel.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. Well, I might just have to change that. Just throw you in as a moderator just for the haha.
Let me see here. Yeah, because on YouTube, if you're not a moderator, they won't let you. They won't let you post links.
Okay. Well, they'll just have to hit you up on your IG link and get it from there.
I'll get it. I'm just going to email it to myself and then copy and paste it, put it here.
Sure. Sounds good.
I just have to wait for that to send. It should be there now.
Basically, what I should be doing is today I should go out and I should cut down these 2 males because then I can start on the 5 weeks. But I'm only at 21 days of flower. Should I give it another, say, week for more pistils to come out to get pollinated before I do that?
I would go like at least 3 days and go to day 24.
Okay.
And then pull them out of there. That's more than enough pollen. Just don't disturb them tomorrow and wait 2 days before you go in there and shake them again.
Okay.
Because they'll produce way more pollen on 2-day wait than they will every day. They just will.
Yeah. Well, I can see different ones, expanding like you were showing where they're just about ready to pop open in your jar there. You had that one you were showing. So yeah, it's a constant thing that they've just been going like mad.
Let's see. Where in the hell is my Discord? Why is it going here, dude? I just want to...
We're lost, man, in a world far, far away.
There we go. StreamYard. Here we go. Let's see if it copied it now. It just kept taking me there, so it should pop up.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, there's my Discord right there, y'all.
There you go, guys. Anyway, guys, we're over the hour already, so we're gonna bounce here. I know Johnny's busy there, obviously. Tony, thank you so much for all your
wait, it's already done. I want
5 to thrive today.
You bet. Okay, guys, take care. We'll see you next week.